How to be the Ideal Man, by Krishna's Mercy. Ettadakhyanamaयुष्यं पठन् रामायणं नर सपुत्रपौत्रस्य गण प्रेत्य स्वर्गे महीयते. Quote, the man who reads and recites this narration of the Ramayana will be blessed with a long duration of life, and after death will be welcomed and respectfully received in the heavenly region, along with sons, grandsons and relatives. Valmiki Ramayana, Bala Kand, 199.
You find all sorts of people in this world. They have different goals. Depending on which part of the world they call home, the ambition might be rather humble, such as wanting to live in a house. Establish an independent dwelling, which can be modified, decorated and populated as the owner sees fit. To own a home in those parts is rare, and so it is an ideal objective to reach for. In another part of the world, the ambitions relate to gaining prominence through influence and resources. Find the ideal occupation, which has accompanying compensation to place the individual at the highest echelon of civilized society. Pay for VIP everything, from parking to seats at the local venue that hosts concerts, sports, and live comedy acts. That is fine and good. I think it is healthy to establish goals. It is better to work for things than to remain on the sidelines, in perpetual melancholy, having given up on the world. The thing is, what about people who are not as specific in terms of a physical destination? They are not necessarily interested in a job title, a place of residence, or a level of respect from peers. Rather, they want to be the best they can be. Consider it something like striving for virtues. I believe one of the founding fathers in America once kept a chart to document such characteristics, to gauge progress and address known vulnerabilities. What hope is there for someone who wants to be the ideal man? What is the standard in this regard? I am aware of the teaching from bhagavad-gita. The great man sets the standard for others. They are like an acharya. They lead by example. Who is a great man that we can follow, though? What are the qualifications? How can we replicate their behavior if they lived thousands of years ago? Do you see what the dilemma? Yadyadacharati shreshthastatra devetro jana sayat pramanam krute lokastadanuvartate. Quote, whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 3:21.
One time, two sages discussed this very topic. Maharishi Valmiki and Nard Muni presented the ideal man in Sri Rama, who is an avatara of Vishnu. Rama is like God on earth, but in the form of a man. That single man did amazing things, such as defend against 14,000 Rakshasas attacking simultaneously. Chaturdash Sahasrani Rakshasam Bhim Karmanam Hatanyeken Ramen Manushena Padatina. Quote, those 14,000 Rakshasas of frightening deeds were eliminated by that one man, a foot soldier, who was Rama. Valmiki Ramayana, Kand, 26:35. We can hear about the life of Rama through the Ramayana poem. This is the subsequent work, written by Valmiki, after reaching the proper conclusion in the conversation with Narad. Rama is the ideal man in his behavior, but there are so many people who have traversed this earth. There are so many examples from which to choose. Why exactly should we hear the Ramayana? There are two distinct characteristics of that historical narrative: the events of which took place thousands of years ago, that relate to any period of time and to any condition. Sri Rama endured hardship. There were troubles occurring in an unpredictable manner and with devastating consequences. Throughout the difficulty, Rama maintained an eye on Dharma. He always tried to do the right thing. His behavior aligned with the teachings of Shastra, the counsel of wise sages and common sense. Rama maintained a spirit of vairagya throughout the difficulties. This is something we tend to see in the elderly. They may not be as up for debating political issues of the day. They are not so eager to chase after this thing or that. Sometimes they are satisfied in simply sitting quietly and interacting with the world in a peaceful manner. Something has obviously changed from how they were in a prior period of their life. This position is due more to experience than to old age, necessarily. They have been through so much already. They realize the imminent nature of death and how that clock ticks down as soon as there is birth. They are better equipped to understand the principle of the changing body, as kindly described in Bhagavad-gita. Dehinosmin yatha dehe, kaumaram yauvanam jara, tatha dehantar praptir, dhiras tatra na muhyati. Quote, as the embodied soul continually passes, in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. The self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. Lord Krishna, Bhagavad-gita 2:13. What if we acquired the same wisdom, but prior to reaching old age? What if we could maintain a spirit of detachment even prior to experiencing adversity? The Ramayana prepares us. It shows us how to maintain the focus on the bigger picture. Beyond this lifetime, the ideal way to live in order to create the ideal destination in the afterlife. That ideal way of living, as shown by the ideal man, who was from the ideal kingdom, who travelled with ideal associates, actually creates a kind of Vaikuntha on earth. It is the way to simultaneously ease the burden of a troubling existence. Sri Rama maintained vairagya through both difficulty and the highest call to duty. There was responsibility. There was a burden of action to correct the many wrongs in the world. Since he is Vishnu in the visual of a human, Rama was able to deliver justice in a swift and appropriate manner, while showing others the proper way to carry themselves. In closing, not so much to strive, in higher income to arrive, or into this occupation aspire, rather on good traits to acquire. For the ideal way searching, how to be the best researching. Conclusion of Nard profound, that all answers in Rama found.